With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Welcome, folks, to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez. I'm going to be joined with Florida Rick, my co-host. We are on Sports Byline, USA Radio Network, American Forces Network, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and we're also on Facebook.com, Fifth Street Sports. We're also on Twitter and YouTube, streaming live. Rick, well, you had a nice weekend there with Mr. Oklahoma Brian. You guys were at the ball games, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was my second time ever being at an NCAA tournament, first and second round site, and both times were in Tulsa. The other time was about 7 years ago. And both times were just great experiences, just a ton of fun. You know, having 8 teams there, having fans from all schools. Of course, some schools bring a lot more fans than the other schools, but you just converse with people from all over the country, and it's just a great time to have. I know it's not the same thing as being a Final Four or a Sweet 16, because these aren't teams. Most of the teams aren't going to have much of a chance to go anywhere. But the fact is, I think this is the most fun because you have the most schools there, you have the most games, and you get to meet the people from all over who they normally never interact with.
Right. Now, what about after the games are over? Would you have rather, if you had a time, if you had a machine like Scotty on Star Trek, would you rather have been zoomed over to Vegas, or would you have stayed there in Tulsa?
I would choose Vegas after the games were over.
No kidding, brother. I mean,
yeah,
Tulsa.
Vegas is more fun than Tulsa.
Tulsa at midnight. That sounds like, kind of like a Xanax right there, just thinking about that. But, well, I'm glad that you guys had a great time. It was some great games, but real chalky brackets. I mean, come on, 14 out of the first 4 seeds, there's 16 games, 14 out of 16 advance. Boy, it's like what was Brian saying, if you can't hit a perfect bracket this year, just forget about it,
Yeah, and truthfully, there should have been 15 of the top 16 teams because Auburn clearly was a better team than Kansas, higher ranked. They really gave Kansas the 4 seed to try to get them into KC. So really, you have 15 of the top 16 who advanced.
Well, guys, we got to take a small break. We got a great show for you. Florida Rick, Frank Perez on Sports Byline, USA Radio Network, Fifth Street Sports, back in just 3 minutes.
Indeed knows it's hard to find qualified candidates when you're hiring.
It's like finding a unicorn.
But when you post your job on Indeed, it's easy to find people with the skills you need.
Nurse practitioner, 4+ years experience, acute care certification.
Indeed has a huge pool of amazing candidates and screener tools that help you find your most qualified applicants.
Whoa, an entire short list of unicorns.
Now, get a $50 credit to give your first job posting premium placement at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, quality standards, and usage limits apply. Additional terms online.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
What's in store for your business this week at Staples? Your promotion to CIO, Chief Ink Officer.
Because this week at Staples, when you buy one ink cartridge for your HP OfficeJet Pro printer, you get a second 30% off.
With savings that big, you'll be the director of deals, the president of printing.
Buy one HP OfficeJet Pro ink cartridge and get a second 30% off at Staples.
Where there's a whole lot in store.
Ends 3/30/19. Restrictions apply. See store associate or staples.com/HPBOGO for details.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the Tax Helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Fifth Street Sports, folks. We're back. I'm Frank Perez, joined with Florida Rick on Sports Byline, USA Radio Network, also iHeartRadio. Catch us on Facebook and YouTube streaming live. Don't forget the American Forces Network. Those are the ones that mean the most to us. Anyways, Rick, before we get into the show, like today I was just looking back in time because I'm a huge baseball fan. And, in 2 days, you're going to hear the Star-Spangled Banner played in 15 different parks on opening day, Thursday. But today was a real, I just can't believe it was that long because I was 12 years old, and we're going on the 48th year anniversary of something that will probably be it may be infinite. You could call it infinite from now on. 48 years ago in baseball, 1971, the Baltimore Orioles had 4 20-game winners on that team in the same year. Right now, it's scary when you go to like the Westgate and you see over and under, who's going to have the most wins for the year. It's 20.5, 21. And so if you bet over, you're begging, absolutely begging for one guy to win 21 or 22 games. Could you imagine? Now, remember, before the Orioles did it in 1971, the White Sox did it in 1920. They had 4 20-game winners. Do you ever think in the for the rest of the planet that we'll ever see another team with 4 20-game winners in one season on the same team?
Not unless we expand the schedule to 250 games. There's no chance of that happening. It's incredible if we get one 20-game winner. Like you said, the over/under for most wins by any pitcher in the league is 19.5 or 20.5. So if we go, it's about a 50-50 shot if we'll get one 20-game winner in the entire season of Major League Baseball, let alone having 4 teams do it in 1 year. But you got to realize the difference back then. These guys, number one, they pitched on a 4-man rotation. They went many more innings. The bullpen wasn't as involved as it is today. People come in now, they'll pitch routinely 5, 6, 7 pitchers in a game. Back then, you really never saw more than 2. It was a whole different game back then, but still, it's pretty remarkable to think about it.
But I know what you're talking about, but buddy, you're talking about like Cuellar, Dobson, McNally. Who was the Cuellar, Dobson, McNally, and
was it Jim Palmer or was that before his time?
Yeah. Okay, so 4 guys, not almost 50 years ago. Okay, them guys pitched for a long time. A few of them are Hall of Famers. They pitched forever. Nothing happened to them. Right now, the nutrition's gotten better. The science of pitching, warming up. Every single thing, how to adjust your muscles, better trainers, better everything. What happened to, why were those real men and these guys they're getting paid 40, 50, 100 times as much? Are there no real men left on the mound or what?
Well, I think the other thing that you're forgetting to mention is that the hitters are under, getting the same nutrition now and the same weight training. And I guess they don't officially have steroids, but all the supplements they take to make them just absolute monsters. And, the hitting now is exponentially greater than it was 48 years ago. I think the average, I'm just guessing, I don't know it for sure, but the average team probably batted like 240 back then. Well, now it's probably, 20 points higher or so, with let alone amount of home runs and RBIs and all that kind of stuff. So,
well,
you
not
factor
so
that.
much, Rick. Not so much, buddy. A lot of these parks were bigger then.
No, they were bigger then. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that allowed for less home runs and
Right.
so forth. Nowadays, they make.
I mean, you had your Clementis and your Mantles and all these guys still batting and playing. I think the hitting is just the same thing in relevancy. I just don't know what happened. Now there's even guys with Tommy John surgery with let you just pitch, as long as you want, whenever you want. I just don't get it that we're not even close to that. At least if you said there were some teams with 2 20-game winners, I don't understand it, because really, like, the people don't really realize that in baseball, pitching is so much the superior aspect of the game than hitting, because you can fail 7 out of 10 times at the plate and be in the Hall of Fame. Where if you fail half the time in pitching, you're just borderline AAA. I mean, you're just about ready to get on that AAA bus. So if you told me what would you want to build a team on, well, obviously, as everybody knows, it's pitching, because you can have guys that, hit 270, 280, and 290 make the Hall of Fame. In pitching, if you pitch at 480 win percentage, you're going to probably be in AAA or just about there. So I don't understand what happened to when it was a game, when the real guys were on the mound,
Yeah, there's just lots of, reasons, as we already discussed. And, but the main thing I think is that back then pitchers were, they were told, you're going to, pitch me a complete game. You're going to pitch me 8 innings. If not, we'll find someone who will. And they just, went every 4 days like clockwork and would go 7, 8, 9 innings. Regardless of how they were feeling or what kind of pain they were in. Like nowadays, if you have a fingernail that's half of it got chipped off, you're out for 10 days. Back then, they would be pitching with separated shoulders, with torn labrums, which, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say they were tougher, but they also it was the managers and owners that would let them know, basically if you're going to claim injury, all right, we'll let you go. We'll find someone else that's not going to claim they're injured.
But nothing happened to him. I mean, look at Nolan Ryan. These guys all pitched more innings than any of these clowns do today that are always on the DL, always gone. Okay, look how they baby Kershaw. He's been out like the last 2 or 3 seasons. He misses games all the time. I don't understand it. I think if I owned a team right now and I was in baseball, I would say to my manager, I want big, tough pitchers recruited, and I would tell the pitchers when they signed, I said, listen, when you come on this club, you're going to get ready to pitch like the real guys did back then. Get ready to go deep. Get ready for 10 complete games a year. If you don't want to pitch or you want to be on a little baby pitch count, why don't you go to another club? That's exactly what I'd tell them.
And I think you have the labor unions that are a big part of that too, that kind of changed the whole game, and that's without a doubt. They didn't really. I don't think the labor unions even started until the early '70s. So back then, yeah, they didn't have anyone looking out for them, and they were on their own. And yeah, when you're forced in a situation like that, you just you come up with everything you got.
They made it. I mean, it's like if you force your kid to clean the yard, he's going to do it. If you don't tell him to clean half the yard, he's only going to clean half. But I know we spend a little bit more time on this because I'm really passionate because I played pro sports. It's highlight. It was a little bit different, but still they were tougher back then, even in that sport. But, Rick, we got a couple of minutes left in this segment. And then on the next segment, also with you, we got a lot of a request. People want to pick your brain on what's happened in this tournament and what do you foresee happening. So let's start in this minute and a half with what you saw the first 4 days.
It was a great time. It was so much fun actually being at the games. But watching the games was, for the first time I can remember, kind of disappointing. We had such few close games. We had the Duke game, which was, one of those games you'll remember for all time's sake. But after that, you had that Auburn-New Mexico State game, which, came down to a final shot at the buzzer that unfortunately the guy for New Mexico State airballed. You had the LSU-Maryland game, which LSU won in the final second on a layup at the buzzer. But, you could count all the real close games on one hand, which, I mean, that's what, 48 games in 4 days, and you can get, there's that few close games. It's kind of a disappointment because you kind of go there and you're expecting to see all these great games, and yeah, you're not expecting to see 1 and 16s and 2 and 15 teams meet up and get involved in 2 3-point games, but you do expect, especially the second round, to see a lot of close games. And it was disappointing actually. As much fun it was being the games, we saw 6 games in 2 days. There was only one game that was a single-digit win. That was the Ohio State-Iowa State game. And Ohio State kind of was winning the entire game. Iowa State kept making runs. Then Ohio State would, counter the run with a 3 or another 5 run of their own. And, Iowa State could never just get over the hump. But that was the only game that was in doubt when, come really the second half. There was no other games that you said, well, this team might come back. Not a chance. And that's disappointing. That's a tournament.
But as disappointing as that was, Rick, could you just imagine, let's say you would have gotten, like reckless driving or something, and they would have sentenced you to community service and you would have had to watch 6 soccer games, okay? 6 soccer games over the thing. And then you would have said to me, Frank, I got to see 1 goal. But anyways, folks, when we come back, Rick is going to pick apart the next brackets coming up in college basketball. We'll be back after this break.
Remember in the beginning, when you first started to build a life for you and your family, you never imagined it would come to this. Instead of living your dreams, you're living with debt. In fact, it's smothering you. Now there's a way you can take back control with one simple call. If you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you qualify to receive a free, no-obligation consultation on how to get rid of that debt for good. Call the Debt Helpline now. We work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. One simple call is all it takes to get the ball rolling to a debt-free life. Stop living with debt and start living your dreams. Call the Debt Helpline now.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. That's 800-957-6063. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com. That's MYEVOZ.com to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
Folks, we're back. It's Fifth Street Sports. Florida Rick and myself, Frank Perez, on Sports Byline USA Radio Network. Rick, well, okay, buddy, it's time for you to give us a preview of what you think is going to be transpiring this weekend to get us to the Final Four on Sunday?
Well, if there was ever a year where there's no clear-cut favorites, this would be the year. You have all the top seeds. Everyone who we said all year long that has a chance to win the championship, they're still alive. You haven't had any real big teams knocked out, with the exception of Kansas, who really – Kansas State. They were the 2 4 seeds. Neither one of them were going to go anywhere, especially once Dean Wade went down for K-State and he was out for the tournament. He was pretty much the heart and soul of that team. Kansas has kind of been a fraud all year long. They've been a super home team, but outside of that, they've struggled anywhere else they've played. So we really got 14 real quality teams in here. You know what? 15. There's no reason Auburn doesn't have a shot to go far too. So, I mean, we just got great basketball games. The only game that you can say isn't necessarily going to be, one of the top games of the weekend might be Virginia-Oregon. But I mean, we saw what happened Virginia last year. We saw what happened Virginia in the first half on last Thursday against Gardner-Webb. There's no reason Oregon can't be in this game and possibly win this game. They both play the same type of tough defense, slow offense, looking for cutters and trying to hit open threes. And Oregon's been as hot a team as they've been at all in the NCAA this year right now. They've won 10 in a row and really haven't had any close games. Irvine, they were up, 12 at the half against Irvine, and Irvine made a 14-0 run to start the second half. And you're thinking, wow, Oregon, their run might be over. And then just like that, Oregon outscores them something like 22-4 or something over the next 5 minutes. And they actually end up covering that game. I mean, even covering the second half line. So, just a super weekend of games. There's going to be 4 on Thursday. I think the South and the West are going to be meeting on Thursday, and then the Midwest and East will be playing on Friday. So, let's see. In the West, I guess the first game to tip will be Florida State Gonzaga. It's the 7:09 Eastern start on Thursday night from Anaheim, which is kind of funny. It's a 4:10 start out there, but that'll be the first one going off. And this is a rematch of last year's Sweet 16 game with these same 2 teams. In fact, you throw in Michigan, and 3 of the top 4 teams are the exact same. And it looks like it's going to be the same route to the Final Four. Either FSU winner, Gonzaga winner versus Texas Tech Michigan winner. And FSU's been playing incredible of late. They went all the way to the ACC tournament, lost in the final to Duke. They've won their first 2 games pretty convincingly. They struggled in the first half against Vermont, but put them away in the second half, and then won their game on Saturday convincingly. And Gonzaga's just trounced their 2 opponents. Everyone was saying Gonzaga's going to have problems coming into this tournament, the way they lost to St. Mary's at the end of the West Coast Conference tournament. But I think that actually helped them. They had won so many games in a row. They'd only lost 2 games prior in the entire year, and that was at Tennessee and at North Carolina. So the fact they had finally a loss, I think they got that out of their system. And you saw it in the first 2 games. They just demolished Fairleigh Dickinson and I believe it was Baylor. So, this will be a good game. The line's kind of high. The line's a lot higher than I thought. The line's 7. I honestly thought the line was going to be closer to 5.5, considering how well FSU's playing. But I think maybe the West Coast, the game being played on the West Coast, there's a reason why the line's a little bit higher. It's going to be more of a Gonzaga home game. We'll give out picks probably closer during game day, but as of right now, I would surely lean to FSU. I think that FSU can win this game. It's a lot of points. I think Gonzaga's going to come out of there with a win, but man, that's a lot of points considering what happened last year with these teams and considering the way FSU's playing. And FSU, they have that 7'4" guy in the middle too, just like UCF had against Duke. And look at all the problems it caused Duke. And I think Gonzaga's going to have some of those same issues. They don't go up against guys anymore that are 7'4", 7'5" in the middle. Kind of you rarely see that. So they're going to have real problems scoring in the paint. And FSU's got a tough defense, and they have a bunch of athletes and great shooters. And I think +7, 7.5 here is probably a good play. But we'll talk about it more game day. This is only on Tuesday. Things may change, but that's actually the first game on Thursday. The second game in that region, as I just discussed, was the Texas Tech Michigan game, and that was Texas Tech was the team that we saw in Tulsa, and wow, they were really impressive in their 2 wins, especially that Buffalo game when everyone kind of thought Buffalo was going to be in there, probably maybe win the game. They were only a 4-point favorite. Buffalo was one of the top scoring teams, if not the top scoring team in NCAA basketball this year. And Texas Tech just shut them down completely from start to finish. Texas Tech got off to a 10-2 lead, looked like they were going to put it away. Buffalo made a big run and actually took a 1-point lead with 3.5 minutes left in the first half. And then Tech ended the first half on a 9-0 run. So they're up 8 at the half, and then they started the second half with the same type of run. I believe it was a 26-3 run when it was all said and done.
Yeah.
26-3, and then I think it was like 38-8. So they just completely destroyed in the final 23 minutes of that game. And that's a really solid Buffalo team, a team that was a dark horse to even reach the Final Four. So, you know, that's going to be a hell of a game, the Texas Tech-Michigan game, because you look at it, both teams are really strong defensively. They play the same type of styles. The total seems way too high in that game, 126. It seems like it should be about more like 122 or so, the way these teams play. And it'll be like two teams mirroring each other. It's just going to be who's going to be able to hit the open shot, the open threes. That's pretty much what it's going to come down to. Michigan's a 2-point favorite, which, you know, is almost a pick 'em. The side is so hard. I would probably lean Michigan because Michigan is that good, and Michigan has a real shot of winning this whole thing. But I sure like the under. The under would be the play that I would that I know would be on Thursday. As for the side, I'm not really sure, but that total just reeks of being 3 or 4 points too high.
Speaking of, you know, like in that Buffalo game, Texas Tech was like the antidote for that team. I was speaking to one of our former guests, August Pritzlaff. He called me, and we were talking about that game, and he really liked Buffalo. Of course, he lost, bet Buffalo. He did realize that the total was too high. It was 147, because Buffalo's been a run-and-gun type of team all year long. But you forget that Texas Tech is the number one defensive team in the country. You know what I mean? I think anytime you get a defensive team, they shut down that offense, just like a great pitcher against hitters. They shut down that offense. Now you're running into two defensive teams at the same time. That's going to be a very interesting game. I think it's going to be one of these games, Rick, where really it's, to me, I see it like 59-56. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I that's why I look at that total and my eyes kind of bulge out of my head. Am I seeing this right? I just couldn't believe it's 126. I know people like to bet overs more than unders. So they probably inflate totals a couple points in the NCAA tournament, knowing the public is going to jump on the overs a lot more.
Yeah, no. Well, I think, believe it or not, one of the realistic dangers in that game of betting it under, even though we are going to bet it under, is the overtime. Because I really see maybe like 55 overtime, 56 each over. It's going to be really drawing close the whole way. So that could be a factor in that game. But, you know, when Brian and I were on the show, when we went through the seeding, they had some props that I think Dan Kaplan wanted us to give him some props. I did like the over 1.5 on number one seeds reaching the Final Four, because I thought there was going to be 2. I still think I'm going to stick to my 2, but I think 2 of these 1 seeds get picked off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know,
they all have such tough opponents. They're going to have 2 straight games. Only Virginia, if you want to call that kind of an easier game, has one easy game, which really isn't that easy of a game, but no one else. So you got 7 of the 8 games involving 1 seeds, assuming they all win the first one, that are going to be, you know, against 2 or 3 seeds, and or 4 or 5 seeds in the other instances. So yeah, they're just playing super teams themselves. They're playing the Michigans and Michigan States and Tennessees and Purdue's. It's hard to imagine there's going to be all 4 number ones, but I do expect at least 2 and, you know, possibly 3. Now, Kentucky is the one team that, before the tournament started, I don't know if I said in the show, I think I was talking more with Brian and some other people. I said Kentucky was my pick to win the whole thing, but, you know, they missed P.J. Washington. He got announced out on Thursday before the first game, and he's clearly the top player. And he was announced out for the first 2 games, and you know, they still easily beat out. I think they beat him 30 or so. But then they had to play Wofford without him. They struggled that game, and they were losing much of the game. But fortunately, the last 7 or 8 minutes, they took the lead. They never looked back, and winning by 6, I believe. So 6 or 7. But yeah, if they're going to go any further in this tournament, they need to have P.J. Washington, and that's a game that, if P.J. Washington's back, I really like Kentucky to beat Houston. But if he's out, I just don't see any way they win that game with him not being there against Houston. Houston's a really tough team, and that's the other team we got to see in Tulsa that advanced to the Sweet 16, and they're a real impressive team. I knew how good they were this year as it was. I mean, they were a top 10 team all year, but they play in that American Athletic Conference, so you don't hear about them as much as you do from the teams in the ACC, SEC, Big Ten. But you know, they also finished their season by losing their conference tournament to Cincinnati, And like I was saying before, sometimes that's more of a blessing than anything else to get that loss out of your system, to feel that pain. And a team that's won that many games in a row, going to the tournament, I think it's healthier for them to actually get a loss rather than win, 15, 20 consecutive games heading into the tournament. I rarely see teams who do that go on and win the whole thing.
Yep. Isn't it scary? Brian pointed out the fact that, like, as chalky as these first 48 games were, of all of the sites and everything, there's only one guy that still has one live ticket in a perfect bracket. Now,
I remember him telling me that.
Yeah. Now, do you agree with this? I forget who wrote in the other day that it is, I think it's 7 or 8 times likelier, the chances of picking a perfect bracket all the way through it's 8 times harder than hitting the Powerball. And I know the Powerball is like 100. What's the Powerball, like 175 million to one, 180 million to one?
I think it's more than that. I think it's closer to 250 or 270. Range.
Wow. So to think that to hit a perfect bracket, it's at least 4, 5, 6 times harder than to hit the Powerball. I mean, dang. And as chalky as it's been, you have one live ticket. So, hey, Rick, when we come back, buddy, it's talk you can bet on. I'm hoping Joey Casano and Daniel and the guys come in, and we'll take care of your picks. Folks, we'll be back after a timeout here.
Warm up your cold winter days with hot deals during Aaron's Winter Warm-Up. Yes, hot deals on living rooms, TVs, and even washers and dryers with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. Plus, this hot offer from January 11th to the 15th. Just $1 gets you started leasing to own, and then no payments until February 15th. Start with just $1 at participating stores or Aaron's.com and enjoy Aaron's Winter Warm-Up now while the deals are still hot. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
How many of us have looked at our finances and screamed, how can we make this much and still have so much debt? It just creeps up on us, right? Unexpected repairs, replace the washer and dryer, medical bills, and the killer, those insane interest credit cards you had to use to pay for it. Here's a really smart move that could help you get on top of your finances. Get a fixed-rate personal loan at bestegg.com. The rates are great right now. Imagine finally being able to pay down those crazy high credit cards and bills and then bank the money you save each month. Consumers have rated Best Egg 4.8 out of 5 stars on Consumer Affairs because of the super easy online loan app that takes about a minute with no impact to your credit score. Upon approval, funds can be deposited in as little as 1 business day. Get your bills under control, bank what you save, and take control of your finances with a loan from bestegg.com. Visit bestegg.com/plan. bestegg.com/plan. bestegg.com/plan.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
At Robert Half, we know finding the right employees is a job in itself, and it's a job we love. You see, Robert Half isn't just a staffing firm. We're people. People who believe in finding the right people to fit your company's needs. Because employees who are a good fit are more productive, more engaged. Finding a great candidate isn't easy, but at Robert Half, we know it's possible. Robert Half, the experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. Learn more at roberthalf.com/radio.
Hey, folks, we're back. It's Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez, joined with Florida Rick. This is the Talk You Can Bet On segment. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and don't forget us on Sports Byline, American Forces, iHeart, and TuneIn. Anyways, Rick, so we got 2 more games. Where'd my hat go? Oh, there's my hat. Rick, we got 2 more games we want to touch on in this tournament, and then we're going to get to our NBA and NIT picks.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll go over Friday's games tomorrow, but there's two more games on Thursday, which I was going to get to and talk about pretty quick here. That will be the 2 South Region games being played in Louisville. And the first one is going off at 7:30 Eastern, which is Purdue versus Tennessee. And this is just all-out war. This is going to be a great game. Tennessee's 1.5-point favorite. Totals 146.5. But this is as good a game as you can get for the Sweet 16. 2 power conference teams. Playing great all year. Tennessee's been number 1 in the country for much of the year. Purdue's been a top 10 team pretty much the whole year. Both have looked really good in their tournament games so far. And man, this is one of these games where I as of now I don't like any side in this game. But it's be a fun game to watch. I think come Thursday maybe I'll have more of a grasp on these 2 teams. I love watching both these teams play. They both like to run. They both like shooting a lot of threes. We're playing in Louisville, so we're playing in Louisville's arena. It's conducive for college basketball, not one of these giant like mega domes they have sometimes. So this would just be this would be a great game from start to finish. And I don't really even have any leans right now. I guess if you just gave me a free bet, I'd probably take Purdue, but I just want to sit back and watch this game and enjoy it. The other game in that region is the one we kind of discussed earlier. That's the Virginia-Oregon game. Virginia's 8.5 totals, 119.5. It's Oregon's team total at 55. So the team totals this game are about 64-55. But what's funny is I actually like the under in this game. You have the 2 teams who run the same style of offense, play that real tough defense. They usually don't take a shot until there's 5 seconds or left in the shot clock unless they get like a backdoor layup. And Oregon's going to want to slow it down as much as they can. Virginia always wants to slow it down. So to me, I see this game as being somewhere in like the 60 to 54 range, something in where it's to still stay under the total. Of course, like you said, like overtime I was worried about, but you can never really factor overtime in betting a game on under because, that's just part of the deal. If it happens, then so be it. But Virginia is a big favorite, so overtime a lot less likely in this game than the Texas Tech-Michigan game we were discussing a few minutes ago. But early on, I would lean towards Oregon. I'd lean towards the under, and it's not going to be one of those games that it's going to be kind of the basketball version of a European soccer game. You're going to sit there. It's going to be a little bit more boring. You're not going to see as many points. Not going to see as much running. When they finally hit a 3-pointer, you're going to like, wow, there it is. They finally hit that 3. It's almost like soccer, maybe the equivalent of them scoring.
I know one thing for sure is if right now if I was looking at you right now after you just put in 6 straight soccer games over the weekend, you'd be looking like Keith Richards right now. I absolutely know it. I mean, 6 consecutive soccer games. Come on. I mean, you'd be trying to share an Uber ride out to Hoover Dam after that. But I'm telling you, it's. Forget it. At least it was 6 basketball games. Hey, but oh, Rick, by the way, I hope you didn't forget. I put out a fighter on Friday. My fighter Espinoza won plus $1.30. And
very nice. Yeah.
Let me recap a few from yesterday. Joey Casano came in on Coastal Carolina plus 10. Huge way they went straight up, getting 490, a plus 10 underdog. I don't think Daniel Wages came in on anything yesterday, but now let's see what we got. Okay,
did you or Brian put on any picks yesterday?
Another disaster. He liked what you would call it. Was it Oklahoma City laying 5 or 6 to Memphis on the road, and he had a disaster with whatever. I forget his college team, but that one blew too. The college team, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see, but I think. I forget who he told me he had someone, and I'm not sure who. It was a big favorite, right?
Yeah, just
okay.
Not good, but I mean it's okay. Brian's good for the year, he does great. But a lot of people look forward to yours. I know we got NIT tonight and NBA. This is talk you can bet on. I'm going to be waiting on Joey Casano and Daniel Wages, and of course if Brian brings in anything. But what do you have?
Okay, I'll start in college because there is 2 NIT games. There's actually a couple of college insider tournament games. I'm staying away from those. But as for the NIT, the first games, there's 2 games. The first one's Wichita State at Indiana. Wichita's getting 3.5, total 138. I lean Wichita here. I like Wichita getting the points, getting money line plus 155 or so. Wichita's been a super team the last 2 months, month and a half of the year. Indiana has turned the corner too. They were awful. Final month of the year, they started playing much better. But I think I like Wichita's team better than Indiana. Indiana tends to just go into those phases where they all look like they're asleep and everyone's blaming everyone else. And I can easily see that happening again tonight. I just think getting 3.5 here with the better team on the road is a good play. Plus, I always in favor of NIT dogs, as I told you last week. So I like Wichita getting the 3.5. And then the other game is Creighton at TCU. And you got the same spread, 3.5, a much higher total, 151. TCU had a big win Sunday against Nebraska at home. Now they're playing Creighton. I think Creighton's a really good team. The problem with Creighton is it's all pretty much comes down to they're hitting their threes or not because they take so many. I think this is the situation where they are going to be hitting their threes with high total. I like Creighton here, getting the 3.5, same money line, 150, 155. I think both NIT dogs, you pay them both tonight, at least one of them is going to win outright. And good chance both of them. So give me both NIT dogs tonight, and I'm going to stay away, like I said, from the College Insider Tournament.
Okay.
And, then we have a big, full schedule tonight of NBA. There's 10 games. And Paul, talking about NBA, did you see that horrific injury last night with Yusuf Nurkic of Portland?
Yeah. And what I was going to tell you, I guess really now for all academic reasons, I mean, Portland, whether they seed 3, 4, it doesn't matter. I think they're done as far as going any kind of deep in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, unfortunately, I kind of think the same thing, and I don't see how they can win any, even the first round. I don't see how they're going to get through because he was so important to that team. Yeah, they'll have Lillard and they'll have McCollum, and they'll have like the other outside shooters like Seth Curry. They'll have a couple big men like Enes Kanter and Zach Collins, but he was their force inside. I mean, besides being 7 feet, he's just a big body. He's very smooth. He's a great passer. He's almost identical to Nikola Jokic of Denver. So losing him, aside from Lillard, you couldn't have asked for a worse guy to lose. And injury-wise, I feel bad for him. It'll probably take a full year to recover from snapping your leg in half like that. But just for the team, it's just a killer. It's just this is a Portland team that had aspirations of possibly going and winning the Western Conference. The way Golden State's been playing, losing by 35 to Dallas the other night. It seems like every other game they're another situation like that where they're just losing in a disgusting way to a bad team. And Golden State does not have to win this Western Conference. And Portland is in a position where any other team in the West can kind of take it. And they were playing that well, especially at home. And it's just a really sad to see them lose.
And it just too bad that it had to happen in double overtime. You keep looking back thinking, boy, if the game had ended in regulation or even after the first overtime. Yeah, it's really a shame, Gosh.
Put all those things together, and then it's really sad, and I just feel really bad for Portland. They can still end up if they go on a little run. They're only a half game behind Houston for the 3 seed. They'll probably not get that with this injury now. They'll probably end up with the 4. And then there's 4 teams fighting it out for the 5 through 8 spots in the West. They're all within a game of each other, so they can play between Utah, Clippers, Spurs, and OKC. They can play any of those teams in the first round. But I honestly don't see how they're going to win a series against any of those teams without him. So, now all these teams would be begging to play Portland in the first round before. Look like no chance. But anyway, it's still have games to bet on tonight and talk about for tonight. So. Like I said, there's a full slate of games tonight, 10 NBA games. There's a few that I like. The first one being Orlando getting 4.5 at Miami. Orlando just had a big win last night against Philadelphia. I think they won by 27 or so, and now they're coming back tonight. That was a game that I think Chip and Bry both agreed on. Seemed like just an obvious play, especially with Ben Simmons out. So now they're coming into Miami tonight. We're able to rest some of the players in the fourth quarter. Orlando's going for that last playoff seed as well. Right now, the Heat have it, but they're only a half game from the Hornets. Half game from the Magic and 2 games from the Hornets. So you can almost say the Heat Magic are, this game, whoever wins this game will have the, be in the 8th place right now in the Eastern Conference. I just think it's going to be a battle out there, getting 4.5 points. Yeah, Orlando had to travel last night from Orlando, but, that wasn't much of a travel at all. And like I said, they're going to be able to rest players in the 4th quarter. So to me, this game is closer to a pick. I really like Orlando getting 4.5 here. Could easily see them winning the game outright. It's going to be played with playoff game intensity. And you look at the total of 205. How often this year do you see a total of 205? I mean, it's really non-existent anymore. But I don't like it because it's so low, but that just goes to show you the way they think the game will be played. Then we go on, and I like Atlanta's playing at the New Orleans Pelicans. Atlanta's laying 2.5 on the road, total of 242. As we get later in the year, really start liking unders more and more. And the Pelicans are going to be without a bunch of players in this game. Anthony Davis is out. Drew Holiday, his season's over. Etuan Moore's out. I think Alfred Payton might play, but the wear and tear of these games on these guys' bodies now is starting to take its toll. I think 242 is kind of insane here. I'm going to go under 242. With all those injuries included. So that's my second play. And then we are going to, Houston, Milwaukee. All right, I actually like 2 plays in this game. Houston's getting 4 on the road at Milwaukee. Totals 224. Milwaukee beat Houston a couple months ago on a TNT game in Houston. They beat them handily. So this is the rematch. But as we know, Malcolm Brogdon's out. And, aside from Antetokounmpo, Brogdon is the most important player on that team. And I don't see Milwaukee winning this game. And we've been talking about for a while, when you get elite teams playing this time of year, unders hit at such a high rate. And it's been like this forever. And especially this year, I think it will be really good too because of the way the totals are so high now compared to previous years. So I really like both these plays. I like Houston +4, total of 224.
Under?
I like under 224. Sorry, yeah. The team totals in this game would be 114, 110. So I definitely like Milwaukee's team total under 114. I don't think they make it there. I think Houston wins this game outright. Money line you should be getting in that +160 range. I think that's probably worthy of throwing a half unit on as well. But I like these 2 plays a lot. And that's Houston +4 under 224. And the last play I'm going to give out is the Washington Wizards. Oh, do we have time? Or
Well, you got 30 seconds. You can give out this play, then we'll recap it.
Okay.
Joey Cassano's in 2.
Okay, Lakers -2 and 236.5 over the Wizards. I like under 236.5 here. With the Lakers, their injuries. LeBron's now, they're saying that he probably should have been sitting out for months with a groin injury. He'll probably be playing, but I don't think very much. And I think the total is just insanely high. So under 236.5 is my final play.
In the Lakers. Okay, when we come back, folks, we're going to recap Rick. We have Daniel Wages has just come in. Joey Cassano at joeycassano.com. He's in. We've got to take a timeout. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Recap talk you can bet on. Don't miss this last 3 minutes. It's the gravy.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
All right, folks, Fifth Street Sports, talk you can bet on them. I'm Frank Perez, joined with Florida Rick. And you guys, this is a segment where we're going to finish recapping and giving out the rest of our plays. Joey Cassano is in on Presbyterian tonight, +6. Remember, yesterday gave us out Coastal Carolina +10, easy winner. Waiting on Daniel Wages. Andrew, we got anything come in from Daniel? These are all-stars, guys. These are the best guys we've recruited after 14 months.
Yeah, we do have Daniel Wages. He came in through our YouTube live chat at youtube.com/Fifth Street Sports. Every day when we're if you're hearing us right now on Sports Byline USA Radio Network, you can hop over to YouTube if you wanted to join in on the conversation. Daniel Wages came in on the New Orleans Pelicans +2 over the Atlanta Hawks. He says the Hawks are looking sharp, but time to lose one at NOLA.
There you go, Pelicans. Hey, Rick. Okay, so let's see if let me recap you really fast here, and everybody. You like Wichita State +3.5 and a little bit on the money line. Creighton +3.5, a little bit on the money line. Orlando +4.5, same routine. Pelicans under 242. Houston +4. Houston under 224, and Washington and the Lakers under 236?
Correct. That's it.
Joey Cassano, Presbyterian +6, and we got Mr. Daniel Wages on the Pelicans +2. By the way, Rick, I saw on Facebook, I saw a picture of you playing poker a few years ago. You look like a real beast there, with pushing in all the chips. I think you were wearing a green shirt.
That was a while ago.
Did you ever see that one where you're wearing a green shirt, pushing it? But that looked pretty intimidating. I think I would have folded kings in that spot.
That's exactly what I had. I had kings then.
Oh, see, I didn't, and you weren't showing the cards. You weren't showing the cards, and I said, "Boy, this guy looks like he's got kings or better in this spot."
Good call, Frank. Well, you've been around the game for a long time,
buddy. If I would have had queens, jacks, or anything like this, and I would have looked at you with that, because you had a lot of hair then, you had the beard thing going on, the green shirt pushing in all those chips. I would have had tens, jacks, queens. I would have just handed them right back into the dealer, buddy. I would have said, I don't think so. This guy is looking really intimidating. Hey, but Rick, thank you very much, guys. A good show, Rick. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you, and thank you for watching and listening. Fifth Street Sports back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern.